Hello everyone, and welcome to my young and restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Traci appears revitalized, according to Jack and Diane at the club. She always glows, according to Alan. When he sees his girlfriend, he makes fun of the chemical responses that occur in his brain. He really missed her. She also missed him. Diane and Jack inquire as to what caused their prolonged separation. She was in New York, while he was in Washington, D.C. Alan's attempt to surprise her by sneaking up to the Big Apple was a total failure. Diane is shocked that everything ended so badly. Jack concurs and exhorts him to complete the narrative. Traci confesses that she missed him because her agent had her on a last-minute book reading in Charleston. They then made plans to meet at his house, but his flight was cancelled due to the freezing weather. Jack assures Alan and his sister that they are deserving of every happiness in the world. Alan proposes to halt his speaking engagements in order to travel with Traci since he wants to spend more time with her. If that's your preference. Traci makes fun of how helpful he is on the road, but she can't ask him to give up such a significant aspect of his life. Perhaps that's what he wants, Jack notes. Alan wants to avoid crowding her. Traci assures him that she would never have such emotions. Alan is a candidate for most romantic gesture, according to Diane. Jack feels appreciative that Alan is in his sister's life. Alan claims to be the fortunate one. They talk about his being by himself in Paris after losing his sibling. She has made him feel less alone. Traci is more appreciative of him. She is utterly content. She agrees to his proposition. Tragically in love, Alan blurts out that he would ask her to marry him now if he thought he had a chance. Diane and Jack stare. What a person won't do to get a free trip to Manhattan, teasingly says Traci. She claims otherwise, but Alan can see the fear in her eyes. Diane and Jack hurried away from the table. I'm not very smooth, am I? Alan teasingly asks. Is there anything you wanted to say to me? Asks Traci. Chance backs Summer. Chance shows Nick where Phyllis and Sharon were last spotted at Crimson Lights. Is there any news? Asks Sharon as she enters. They have new information, according to Nick. Chance informs her that the movements of the van have been captured on security camera film. Nick believes they are in the general area, each step brings them one step closer to locating them. Nick reassures Summer that Phyllis and Sharon are tough, but Summer fears it may be too late. They don't even know if they were abducted, let alone why. Chance claims that there is no evidence of kidnapping on the surveillance camera. You have instincts, right? Asks Summer. What do they say to you? Chance is compelled to acknowledge that he feels uneasy about this. This is wrong, worries Summer. Chance doesn't believe that Phyllis and Sharon left on their own initiative. Nick tells his daughter that the policeman would assist them in getting home. What do we do next? She asks. Nick recommends conducting a door-to-door search. Search warrants, Chance murmurs. Nick says he'll put the Newman team on it because he finds this annoying. Despite Chance's warning, they decide to examine a region that appears to be full of abandoned buildings after looking at a map. This doesn't make sense to Summer. Why would someone want to take them both? They would have contacted you if they wanted money, which is obviously not the case. Chance encourages her to persevere for a little while longer. Get a full crew ready, I'll meet you there, says Nick over the phone. He ends the call and says he will update Summer. He'll try his hardest to remain composed, and she ought to follow suit. Chance urges Summer to eat as Nick leaves. She is unable to. She was aware that he was concerned about Sharon and her mother. Chance is sure they'll track them down and take them home. Summer isn't a total mess right now since she can tell he means it. After everything with Daniel, he is aware that this is difficult. Chance assures her that she can rely on him. Summer is aware that he is a kind man and a good police officer. Chance reassures her once more that they will locate them and securely return them home. The death of Sharon. As she attempts to pick the lock in the closed chamber, Phyllis asks the freak whether he is observing her. She makes fun of the voice, but she receives no response. She calls for Sharon to get up and assist her over her shoulder. Sharon is not responding as she sleeps on the couch with a pillow covering her face. Rushing over, Phyllis pleads with Sharon not to frighten her. She repeatedly implores her to awaken, but she doesn't. With no pulse, Phyllis yells, "What did you do to her? How did you harm her? Come on, Sharon, oh my God," she worries. "How do I fix it?" she yells at the speaker. She looks for the antidote-containing water bottle, but it's not there. "Tell me what I do," she shouts. At that moment, she discovers a red envelope with a card in the shape of a heart inside. Phyllis reads, "I mark my time in blood, sweat, and tears," as she opens it while shouting threats. "Crazy freak," she says, tossing it. She will discover who he is and pursue him. "I'm on my way to get you." She turns back to Sharon and keeps attempting to persuade her to change her mind. As she works on the puzzle, Phyllis has an epiphany. Claiming to need to perform CPR, she climbs on Sharon. She presses on Sharon's chest while counting. She gives her mouth-to-mouth and pinches her nose. She repeatedly tries to revive her, urging, "Come on, Sharon," and pleading with her not to abandon her there. At last, Sharon opens her eyes with a great gasp. What took place? "You passed away," Phyllis informs her. "You had passed away. There was a card, and he killed you." "How many fingers am I holding up?" she says, rambling on about the oxygen to her brain. Sharon has a headache. "Because you were dead," replies Phyllis. The question, "How the hell did he do that to you?" could not be faked. "Did I pass the test?" she asks the voice. "You saved my life," Sharon exclaims in amazement. "It has to be done by Phyllis." Regarding her, Sharon was correct. Phyllis advises her not to worry too much about this. She was a corpse just moments before. "You saved my life, and I saved yours," says Sharon. Nick gets a new lead from Billy. Nick phones Chance at the ranch and assures him that they would be thorough and quick. Billy wonders whether there's anything new as he rings the doorbell. He receives an update from Nick regarding the hunt in the former warehouse district. Billy also has something. "I received a text message." He obtained Phyllis's burner phone number and made a couple of calls to it. When no one answered, a text message was sent. To learn more about the Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic, click here. More lessons from beyond the gates for YNR. According to Nick, it seems like a polite reply. When they called the burner phones, none of the others received the text. Billy questions whether it was a glitch or intentional. Nick first makes sure it's a legitimate location before rushing to get it to Chance. When he looks it up, he discovers that it's closed forever. And they're going to search the warehouse district. There is no way that could be a coincidence. Alan asks the question. Alan admits to Traci at the GCAC that he was winging it when he brought up marriage. If she doesn't want to, they don't have to have this conversation right now. Traci is unwilling to put this off and come back to it at a later time. Alan grabs hold of her hands. "Traci, I've been without you for a lifetime." Although he was working, it is unclear whether he was truly living. He now has a woman in his life who exudes kindness and generosity. He realized his previous life wasn't sufficient after being separated from her. He wants to be nearer to her but still give her space. "You have my undying love. Are you going to marry me, Traci Abbott?" Crying, Traci says, "Alan Loran. I will marry you, yes." Alan asks Traci if it's going too quickly because he wants to cling to this moment. Traci doesn't give a damn about what people think. You eventually begin to believe that memories are sufficient and that you no longer require this type of affection. Alan is aware that her daughter died. Traci has told her everything about him in their daily conversations. It's like a bonus chapter in her story to discover this with him. Alan decides that he must purchase a ring for her. He won't listen to Traci's insistence that things can wait. He hurries to the door and says, "I'll be right back." Diane and Jack go by him, hoping he isn't running away. More, YNR joins Day's actor. The pieces begin to fit together. Phyllis cautions Sharon not to drink the water too quickly while she is in the mental health facility. It's almost as though she cares, Sharon reprimands. She's starting to realize that's what this whole thing is about. Viewing the wider perspective and overcoming the hate. It is still possible for Phyllis to despise her and not want her dead. Sharon informs her that it's changed us and that this circumstance has altered things. Phyllis disputes that it is that profound. For the sick freak, it's only twisted enjoyment. According to Sharon, it's true. This gives the voice a sensation of power and control, which it enjoys. However, further levels may exist. They should consider this an experiment, the voice said. He or she was hoping for a certain outcome, such as the human ability to overcome negative feelings. Or self-preservation trumps all, Phyllis continues. Perhaps they rescued one another because they didn't want to be abandoned. She gets nailed by Sharon for being so incongruous. Their relationship has been exposed, and it has reached a life-or-death situation. Phyllis wonders, did we dance to your tune, as she glances up at the wall speaker. The question is what happens next, Sharon contemplates. Chance tells Summer at Crimson Lights that they will overcome this. She promises to go give Daniel an update. At that moment, Nick and Billy enter the room and inform us of the text that mentions Havenhurst. After explaining that it's a very particular clue, Nick asks, but is it the truth, or is it a trap? Additionally, Eileen Davidson hinted at a comeback. But as whom? Phyllis informs Sharon that they must assume command at Havenhurst. They needed to overcome everything. They moved past their past and saved one another's lives. They needed to support one another and have faith in one another's mental and emotional strength. That's what it is. Oh my God. The last puzzle is this: together, we must figure out a way out. Sharon believes they would have completed it sooner if it were that easy. Phyllis doesn't agree. Together with their hatred, they had the diversion of being there. Now, things are different. They hear nothing when they listen. The voice is gone, according to Phyllis. Sharon interprets her statement as an invitation for them to go. Phyllis gives a nod. There's a way out. There must be. Death is not an option. They concur that working as a team will grant them autonomy. Phyllis accepts the hand that Sharon extends. They gaze directly into one another's eyes. Any news? Jack and Diane join Traci at the GCAC. Traci smiles. She is amazed that Alan has rushed out to acquire a ring for her impending marriage. Diane and Jack are overjoyed. It doesn't feel real yet, according to Traci. Jack inquires as to her happiness. Yes, she is. Is this really what she wants? He wonders. More than anything, she sobs. Alan examines the engagement ring he purchased for Traci in the park. He takes his phone out of his pocket when it makes a sound, then glances at the screen, which displays a feed of Sharon and Phyllis holding hands in Havenhurst. The intricate web of relationships, emotions, and suspense in Genoa City continues to unfold, weaving together the lives of its residents in ways that are both heartwarming and heart-wrenching. At the club, Jack and Diane notice a renewed energy in Traci, who seems to glow with a newfound sense of happiness. Alan, her devoted partner, can't help but express his admiration for her, teasing her about the chemical reactions in his brain whenever he sees her. Their love story is one of reconnection and rediscovery, as they navigate the challenges of being apart due to their respective commitments. Alan's time in DC and Traci's book readings in New York kept them separated, but their longing for each other only grew stronger. Alan's attempt to surprise Traci in New York ended in disaster, a story that Jack and Diane eagerly urge him to finish. Traci explains how her agent's last-minute booking in Charleston thwarted their plans, and then a cancelled flight due to freezing rain further delayed their reunion. Despite these setbacks, their love remains steadfast, and Jack and Diane express their joy at seeing the couple so happy. Alan's romantic gesture of offering to give up his speaking engagements to spend more time with Traci is met with both gratitude and hesitation from Traci, who doesn't want him to sacrifice such a significant part of his life. Jack, ever the supportive brother, suggests that perhaps this is what Alan truly wants. The couple's love story takes a dramatic turn when Alan, overwhelmed by his feelings, blurts out a marriage proposal, leaving Jack and Diane in shock. Traci, though initially taken aback, ultimately accepts, and the couple's joy is palpable as they embrace this new chapter in their lives. Meanwhile, the mystery surrounding the disappearance of Phyllis and Sharon deepens, with Chance, Nick, and Summer working tirelessly to uncover the truth. At Crimson Lights, Chance shares new information with Nick and Summer, revealing that security camera footage has provided some clues about the van's movements. Summer's anxiety is evident as she worries that it might be too late to save her mother and Sharon, but Nick reassures her of their resilience. Chance's instincts tell him that something is amiss, and his concern grows as they piece together the puzzle. The discovery of a text message linking Phyllis's burner phone to the Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic adds a new layer of intrigue, as Nick and Billy speculate whether this is a genuine clue or a trap set by their captor. The urgency of their search is heightened as they realize that time is running out, and the stakes couldn't be higher.